11:34 now, and by most accounts, Vice Presidential nominee Sarah Palin delivered a good and solid speech last night. Even her critics and the Barack Obama campaign are acknowledging that. But did she garner any votes for John McCain? Jordan Lieberman is the publisher of Politics magazine, and he joins us this morning from Washington. Good morning, Jordan.
Good morning, Connie.
Well, first things first, it was a clear message. Was Palin clearly not afraid to go on the offensive in her criticisms of Barack Obama and Joe Biden? Let's listen in to just one of the digs.
This world of threats and dangers, it's not just a community, and it doesn't just need an organizer. And though both Senator Obama and Senator Biden have been going on lately about how they're always, quote, fighting for you, let us face the matter squarely. There is only one man in this election who has ever really fought for you.
How would you assess the tone she set last night?
Well, she's tough, but she's likable, and she clearly comes from a small town. You almost thought like Jack and Diane were going to walk in. Mellencamp was going to play. This is the Republican Party. It's conservative, it's pro-life, but it's got lipstick and it's attractive. It's it's rural. I think she nailed it.
They put some sauce and sex appeal on it all, I heard somebody say. Her critics, though, were quick to pounce and saying, yes, she did give a good speech, but there wasn't much in the speech outlining what she and McCain would do to help the economy or provide health care. Should she have done more of that last night?
Connie, I don't think she could have. That's the one problem with her. She does not have the foreign policy or even domestic policy experience. She talked about energy policy, which, of course, she is an expert, and she used that in the context of talking about foreign policy with Iran and Venezuela, but it really, in terms of anything in-depth beyond energy policy, is just not there right now.
For you personally last night, at the end of the night at 11:30, when it was all finished, they waved and walked off the stage, what was the first thought in your mind?
Well, the first thought was someone forgot to tell John McCain what to do, because he was kind of walking around looking for, what do I say? He said, isn't she a great pick? And then they kind of looked around and stood there. But, it's an attractive family. She put everyone out there, warts and all, and she did a great job.
2 tonight now, and Palin will be obviously a difficult act to follow. McCain doesn't have that charisma. He doesn't have her charisma or Obama's charisma. So what does he need to do tonight?
Well, he needs to get, we know he doesn't have the charisma. He knows he doesn't have the charisma, and he needs to talk about how he understands middle-class voters, how he can relate to them. And he's not just, a 73-year-old senator who's a war hero. We know he's a war hero, but what else is he?
So what's the takeaway message and the one that Obama wants to get out today to shape this?
Barack Obama is going on and on about how John McCain is out of touch. He's a Republican, and by the way, history is working against John McCain, of course. So every time Barack Obama talks, he's going to be linking George W. Bush and John McCain and the Republican Party.
All right, Jordan Lieberman, publisher of Politics magazine, thanks for joining us from Washington this morning.
Thank you.
And for more on his magazine and to read some of it, you can log on to our website at cn8.tv/yourmorning. Go to the News You Can Use section, and you will see the link for Jordan there. Well, although the speech is over, Governor Sarah Palin still needs to win over a lot of critics. So will she attract those important female voters across the country on both sides of the aisle? And how will her gender play a role in this race? Dr. Laura, how it shapes the fate of our next president. And joining us live from Washington is our political analyst, Jordan Lieberman, who is the publisher of Politics magazine. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Connie.
Adding a little perspective to all of this, Hurricane Gustav, could it change who is elected in the next couple of months here?
Well, it sure could. This really gives John McCain an opportunity and possibility for complete disaster. If this is not executed well in the recovery efforts, John McCain will be blamed for it, despite the fact that he is not the president of the United States. If he shows that he is kind of above politics and puts country first above party, he has the opportunity to kind of change the tune about what people think about, Katrina.
And that's really what he's doing here with the beginning of the RNC. The convention's kind of been flipped on end and the script tossed out. So what have you heard? I know you've got several reporters on the ground there in St. Paul.
Right. We've got reporters talking to convention delegates through the night, and the sense is there's really 2 points. First, country first. Let's John McCain do his thing. And secondly, he should really show up here at some point to accept the nomination. There's actually surprisingly little sense of how this affects the party's image as a whole. Perhaps because they're all there and they're not really part of the whole mainstream. They're just kind of really more focused on the convention.
I guess if any blessing in any of this, President Bush has confirmed that he is not going to be at the convention. And I know there was a lot of, he needs to be invited, and yet you don't want to put him too close to John McCain.
You know, the kind of the synapse response in the brain is when you think hurricane, New Orleans, Bush, yeah, you don't want him near your convention right now. And I don't want to, call it a blessing, but it's probably, if I was advising McCain, it was a smart thing for him to do to recommend that he doesn't attend.
Let's talk about a little bit later on in the week, because on Thursday is when John McCain is supposed to make his speech. Could he do that by satellite, and does it help or does it hurt him?
Quite possible that he makes this by satellite, although, don't forget, he is not one of them. The convention goers are not necessarily all, McCainites from day one. These people came around to him. This was a hard fight. It's probably worth him attending, even if it's for an hour or two. And frankly, by Thursday, there's not a lot he can be doing from the ground in the New Orleans area.
A lot of people by now understand the issue. They understand the man when it comes to John McCain, but they don't know much about Governor Sarah Palin, and that could really hurt this candidacy if she can't get out there in front of people in kind of a get-to-know-me format. Will she be there?
Right. The word we hear is that she is actually on her way back, or already has arrived back in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They had a rally, I think, in Missouri last night. So she is kind of overseeing some of the events and getting to know the delegates a little better right now.
Jordan, if this hurricane comes in and it's not as bad as thought, and they do get their feet underneath them fairly quickly, and will we see the hoopla and all of the pomp and circumstance return to the RNC?
It will not return as originally planned. The balloons are already blown up, and they're waiting in the nets above the stage. The balloons may drop, but I don't think you're going to see the same kind of fireworks that you saw with Barack Obama's nomination. All
right, Jordan Lieberman with us this morning and all last week and all this week as well. He is the publisher of Politics Magazine. Thank you for your insight this morning, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to see him in the next hour. And also, remember, you can go to On Demand, click on the Elections tab, and view all the speeches from both the Democratic and Republican National Convention in their entirety.
Now 6:10. Now stay with us. We have team coverage here on your morning as Hurricane Gustav is headed to the Gulf Coast. Expected to